Okay, so this is a little dated here, but I thought I'd do this video because there's a couple points in here that have not been discussed by other videos. Of course, this is, if you don't know by now, Erica Thomas. She is a state representative representing the Democratic Party for the state of Georgia. This is a woman of power. She's actually, yeah, somebody with power, and quite scary actually. But let's roll this.
So I decided to go live because I'm very upset because people are getting really out of control with this white privilege stuff. I'm at the grocery store and I'm in the 10 aisle, the aisle that says 10 items or less. Yes, I have 15 items, but I'm 9 months pregnant and I can't stand up for long.
All right, so later on in her interview that you'll see, she says she has 11 items and she's standing up for quite a long time. I mean, she actually had an interview, and then the man who was just happened to be there decided to do his own interview, so she walked over and interrupted his interview and was standing the whole time. So obviously, a couple points that she's just exaggerating badly on.
And this white man comes up to me and says, "You lazy son of a bitch." He says, "You lazy son of a bitch. You need to go back where you came from."
All right, so he denies that. He does call her a lazy bitch. Son of a bitch. Son of came from, but he did say he called her a lazy bitch. He never said where, go back to where you came from. That's kind of her own words. She kind of threw in that. So it just gets really muddled.
And he says that. I said, "Sir, you don't even know me. I'm not lazy. I'm 9 months pregnant." He says, "You're it."
All right, so going for sympathy card here as well as the race card. Yeah, that used to work, but it's starting to fade, especially when you call it out. When you, like a woman like this calls it out, it's just unbelievable.
Ignorant.
All right.
You're ignorant.
One other thing, I mean, she's wiping away dry skin. There's not a tear on her. Obviously this is just acting, and she's doing a pretty good job, but she can't produce tears. I mean, if you were really crying like this, you would be producing tears. But anyway, let's go on.
It hurt me so bad. I'm sorry, y'all, because everything in me wanted to just tell him who I am and how I know. But I couldn't get anything out. I could just tell him, "Please leave me alone, please." And my child is just sitting right there.
All right, so this must be so traumatic. I mean, this guy must be such an awful freaking guy. Oh my God, can't believe it.
He said, "Mama, why would he call you that? Why would he do that?" I can't even explain to her.
No one was expecting the man involved to show up here today. He says he was actually at the Publix to speak to the manager and to also follow police report about the incident that happened on Friday. That's when he saw us and decided to come over. Now that's also when Representative Thomas decided to confront the man, who later identified himself as Eric Sparks. So we heard both sides today.
Speak for every black, brown, and any woman that's out there that's not.
Right, so totally different person. Finger pointing, angry, obnoxious. and she had her interview, and then this gentleman decided to have an interview as well, and then she came over to him and then stole basically the mic from him. So what can you say? I mean, and then also now she's bringing in race again. Of course, why not?
Pregnant, and a white man comes up to you and calls you a son of.
So he says he's not white, but she says something else.
I don't care what you are. Yes, you are.
I'm not white.
All right, so this is my point number one. Isn't that misrace. I mean, we can't mispronoun somebody, right? Here in Canada, you can get arrested for mispronouncing somebody. Isn't that like he said he's not white, and then she said, yes, you are. Isn't this democratic double standards? I mean, they use that all the time against conservatives. But here are two people talking, and he says he's not white, and she says, you're white. That should be used against her.
Comes up to you and calls you a son of a. I am facing the man that degraded me and berated me, and I'm not crying. No, I'm not. I'm standing right in front of you. And if you know how you made me feel yesterday.
I'm Hispanic. I don't care what she thinks. She's doing it for political purposes, period. Like I said earlier, I'm a Democrat. I will vote Democrat the rest of my life. Okay? So to call me what she wants to believe for her political purposes, to make it black, white, brown, or whatever, is so untrue.
All right, so there you have it. The guy says, after all this, he goes out and says, I'm a Democrat, and I will vote Democrat for the rest of my life. This is my second point. This is why the Western world is falling apart. It doesn't, like, you would vote for her again just because she's a Democrat? You just found out what a liar, what a slobbering liar that she is, and then comes out aggressively pointing and using race card and every card that she could possibly muster, and you still will vote for her? You're an idiot. And this is the problem with Democrats. It's all about identity politics. Anyway, those are my points, and they weren't covered by other videos. That's why I decided to do this one. Tell me what you think. Is it right that the Democrats keep using terms against us and then not observing their own terms? You know, like I said, you cannot, first point, you cannot call somebody a different race when they say they're not. Right? You can't say that you're white and the guy says, oh, no, I'm not. That's point number one. And then the point number two, that these guys, no matter what, will vote. Even totally bad politicians, rotten, terrible politicians like she is. And they'll still vote for her because of identity politics. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.